I always think it's a great idea to kick the tires and have your estate plan reviewed every couple of years. And there are things that are so unanticipated and bizarre that come up in a review meeting, and I'm so happy that we catch them. But sometimes there are things that weren't caught, and I wanted to share some of those situations so it doesn't happen to you. So one thing to look at when you have a review meeting, so basic. A lot of estate planning is not rocket science. It's pretty basic. Make sure all the pages are there. I have a client who did an estate plan with another attorney, and she went to get a refinance because her husband is now incapacitated, and page 9 of the trust is missing. And of course, page 9 is the section that deals with who the beneficiaries are. And she's trying to get a mortgage on the property to help pay for her husband's care, and the underwriters won't do it because they're missing page 9. And so her other attorney has retired, but we were able together to track that person down, and maybe we can get a copy of page 9. So pull out the estate planning binder. Have you removed any pages? Did you not get all the pages? Just go through and make sure they're all there. Very important. Another thing, when I have clients come in, I ask them to get proof of all of the beneficiary designations for retirement accounts, annuities, pensions. I have another client, and her husband retired 25 years ago, and he worked for an oil and gas company that got bought out, and this subsidiary bought that. So she called to make sure that she was listed as the surviving spouse on the pension. And of course, we don't have any record of that. We don't know. So can you imagine what a huge hassle that would have been if her husband passed away and the company wouldn't send her husband's pension to her? It would have been a huge mess. So instead, she was able to find the election that he made back in 1987, and she sent it to the company and they accepted. So that is one problem averted. Another situation, so you should going back on that one, you should go back and make sure that if there's pension designations with the county or somewhere else, that they have those on file and you're good to go. Another one you want to consider, looking at the title to your real estate and making sure it's right. I have another client who had their estate plan done years ago. I think they may have done the deed themselves, and they left out some very important language that would give the husband full access to the house at the death of the spouse, and so he can't inherit the entire house without a court order. So we're going to take care of that, and he's happy to get it done, but totally avoidable if someone would have looked at the title of the house ahead of time while she was alive. And the last one, so upsetting. I have a client who the notary didn't notarize her healthcare directive. So after she passed away, her daughter wanted to speak with the cremation company and get it all worked out, and they wouldn't take instruction with her unless she was able to track down the notary from 10 years before who had done her mom's healthcare directive. Luckily, we were able to track that person down and take care of it, but the mom was sitting there cold in a little shelf before she could get cremated, and it's heart-wrenching. Like, this kind of stuff, very practical stuff. Always check to see if the notary stamp is there. People make mistakes, but they can always be rectified. So make an appointment with your estate planning attorney or whoever did the documents for you and start looking at simple things like that. It could save a lot of headache for either you, your spouse, or your heirs, and that's one thing estate planning can be all about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this information helpful.